It's been a day, stressing out like crazy. Just wanna be lazy with my girls.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel if you're new here. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about the Pat McGrath holiday palette. So this is the Mothership Mega Celestial Divinity palette. And it looks like this. This is the packaging and here's the palette. It's a very large palette for Pat McGrath. I think it's one of her larger ones that she's done. Sorry, the mirror's kind of interesting because it has these little things that hold it up, you know, if you want to do your makeup. Oh my god. I swear if I drop this thing. There is a mirror in there, pretty big one, and here are all of the shades. It is so freaking pretty. It takes a lot to get me inspired when it comes to palettes these days, and these colors in here are just so unique and so beautiful, and I'm really excited to put them on my eyes for you today. There's only 3 mattes in here, which is a downfall, but all of the metallics and the shimmery shades are very beautiful. We have some duochromes in here that are really, really cool. And I just think the shades are just so beautiful and inspiring, and I really like the layout of all the shades that she chose. I've heard so much about Pat McGrath Labs eyeshadow palettes, them being super amazing quality, just like so amazing, and I feel like this one, I don't have any of the like super expensive ones. I mean, this one's still expensive. I think it's $68. Oh my god, it's $78. I spent $78. Oh my god. Sometimes I just, oh my god, I can't believe. Okay, so this is $78. Still very expensive. I mean, you do have 18 shades in here, which is definitely a better bargain compared to her normal palettes, which are $125 for 10 shades. It's really crazy how expensive her stuff is. Obviously, the packaging is more of like a cardboard, but it's a little bit on the heavier side, so it feels nice. It's really beautiful. I mean, this is just stunning. I freaking am obsessed with all of the packaging on this. And we got the shade names on the back. I really love the look of this. Like, I really actually want to put this on display. It looks so beautiful. Packaging is definitely not all that matters, but I do feel like you are paying for that when you are buying Pat McGrath. So I've never had any of the more expensive eyeshadow palettes, but I will say, not trying those and hearing how great they are, I feel like maybe it's a different formula, because these are good, but I do feel like I wasn't quite as blown away as what I would have expected myself to be, hearing what people have talked about with the other palettes. With that said, let's go ahead and start trying some of these on my eyes so I can give you guys a little bit more of my opinion on them, and so I can see how they work on the eyes, because maybe swatching is much different than working on the eyes. All right, you guys, so my eyelids are already primed with a little bit of concealer, so let's go ahead and use these mattes. I think I'm just gonna use all 3 of them, because I think I can make them all 3 kind of work in here somehow. So the first one I'm going to use is this one. It's like a dusty pink shade. It's really pretty. I do feel like having only 3 matte shades is a huge downfall for this palette, because I truly feel like you kind of have to dip into other palettes if you want to get a full look, because there's just so many beautiful shimmers that I would love other mattes to go with them. And these 3 mattes are, 2 of them are pinky and purpley, which go great together, and the other one is like the last one is like a burgundy brown kind of shade, which would be good for deepening the outer corner. But I do feel like you need another palette that has more matte shades than just these 3 if you want to get a good variety of different looks. This is blending really nicely, and it is pigmented and showing up, which is great, because I was a little nervous when I was swatching them. I'm being very risky today. Normally, if you guys seen my videos before, I almost always do my eyes first and then I do my face makeup, but today I did my face makeup. So I guess we're gonna really test out if there's any fallout. That is one of my biggest pet peeves. I hate when I get fallout on my foundation, which is why I always do my eyes first, but here we are. Not today. Okay, next I'm gonna go in with this matte shade. It is a purpley plummy shade, and I'm gonna take that more in my crease area. I'm gonna go back into the first matte, that dusty pink shade, and I'm gonna just blend these together a little bit more. don't know, you guys. I have very mixed feelings using these first two matte shades. I kind of feel like the deeper purple one isn't doing great. It's working, but I feel like I could be more impressed. I kind of feel like it's kind of sticking in certain areas, and I don't want to say patchiness because I feel like if I say patchiness, that's a huge turn off. But I felt like I had to build it up in certain areas because it just wasn't blending. Like I couldn't take it very far. Just kind of stuck more heavy in certain areas. I guess that's patchiness, isn't it? Wow. It's not anything major though. I feel like this is not something anybody would notice unless they got super, super, super close up to your makeup and they knew what they were talking about, you know? I do like the shades though, and I will say that these two shades will go with a lot of these shimmer shades. A lot of them will do really well with this. Like, cause there is a lot of pinky purpley kind of colors in here. I think that I would like more, like maybe one or two more brown kind of shades to go with this last matte shade, as well as a lot of these like golder and green tones would look really beautiful with like a warm, just folly brown kind of color. I think I'm also going to take that last matte that I haven't used yet, the one up here in the top, this more brown toned one. And I think I'm going to use this just on the outer corners just to see how deep it is. Maybe I can just deepen out these outer corners. Wow, that one's quite pigmented. I really don't want to say it, but I'm finding them to be a little patchy. Ugh, I really don't want to say it because I've never tried Pat McGrath eyeshadows before, but I feel like because this is, like I said, it's a cheaper version of her palettes, I would assume it's probably a different formula to cut costs. Okay, so let's choose some shimmer shades. There's a few in here that just literally scream at me, which is this green shade, this purple shade. This shade down here is really pretty. I think I'm actually gonna go for this one over here. It's like a purpley shade, but it has like a duochrome effect to it that's really cool. I really want to use the green one, but there's not really any mattes in here that I would use it with, so I'm trying to stick to just this palette. So I think I'm gonna use this one. I don't really want to go super bright purple, but this one is absolutely stunning as well. So we're gonna go with this one, and I think I'm also gonna use a little bit of this one, which is also duochrome. Oh my god, I think you guys can see some of those duochromes in there when I do this. Let's hope they go on the eyes. I'm gonna start with a brush at first to see if we can get any kind of pigmentation, and then if not, I'll go in with my finger. Still can't, then I'll use a little bit of setting spray to see if I can intensify it at all. First, I'm gonna go into the more purpley duochrome shade right here. It's like a purple, but it shifts to like an orange. I was able to pick quite a bit up on my brush, so see how it does on the eyes. Okay, it is laying down. Yeah, I would say using a brush works perfectly fine. Starting to get a little fallout here. I didn't get any with the matte shades, but a little bit of this duochrome shade is kind of falling out a tiny bit here. Okay, that worked really well. Let me just see if I go in with a little bit extra on my finger, if it does anything extra. I feel like it's faster and easier with your finger, which I feel like that with every eyeshadow, just because. But it does work with a brush, which is great. It is such a pretty shade. It doesn't, I feel like it's not standing out much. No, I definitely see the duochrome. Do you guys see that, the shift on there? It's really pretty. I'm also gonna try out a little bit of this shade right here. It's like a deep, deep, deep purple shade. It's got a lot of sparkle in there. I'm gonna put this like on the outer part of my eye. Wow, the sparkles are really showing up. Ooh, this shade is like galaxy vibes. That is a really pretty deep purple shade. Ooh, I really like that shade. Ooh, that's nice. I love that. Okay, let's go into this shade here. I'm gonna put this like on my inner corner kind of area. This one I feel like is gonna fall out. We will see. Oh my gosh, the little glitter in that is freaking beautiful. I was so nervous when I swatched this one because it's kind of hard to swatch, but wow, is that so cool. Oh my god. Oh wow, that's pretty. Definitely got a little bit of fallout here. Good news, I don't regret doing my foundation first. The fallout was not bad at all, which is quite surprising to me. I feel like it's rare to have eyeshadow palettes that you can get pigment from like this and you don't get much fallout. Like the little bit that did fall on my face, I was able to sweep it off very easily. So I'm pretty happy about that. I'm just gonna take a couple of the matte shades and run it underneath my lower lash line. So I'm gonna use the light dusty pink first down here. And then I'm gonna use the deep plummy purple on the outer part. I would love to use one of these as an inner corner highlight, but I don't think there are any that are light enough that are gonna look pretty. Like the lightest one is this one that I use here, but I just think if I put it on my inner corner, it's gonna be too dark for my skin tone. So I kind of wish there was maybe 1 or 2 lighter shimmer shades in here. These gold ones would work great on the inner corner, but I have a very purpley vibe going on, so I'm not going to use those. But I'm not too mad at it because I can just use a highlighter. Like if I can just use the highlighter that I used that day, and it's no big deal. Okay guys, so here's what it is looking like. Very, 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 very pretty. I'm so happy with the way that this looks. It is so gorgeous. I'm gonna go ahead and throw on some mascara, maybe a little bit of a lip color, and I'll be back and I'll let you guys know my final thoughts about this palette. Alrighty guys, so here is the finished look. This is the Pat McGrath Labs LuxTrance lipstick in Sorry Not Sorry. If you're wondering, really matches perfectly. So does my nails. I'm feeling real purple and plummy today, and it looks real nice. Okay, so when it comes to this palette, here's what I would say. Like, I feel like this was pretty smart of Pat because it's definitely tempting, because if you've been wanting to try Pat McGrath in the past and you just think that their other shadows are just too expensive, I mean, these are still expensive, but it's much cheaper to get this versus one of her other more luxury palettes, like her original black ones. And you get more shades in here, so it is a really good like bargain deal. So it would be good for the holidays. I think this would be a really good gift for someone if you know they've been wanting, if you know that they really like Pat McGrath, or if you know they've been wanting to try it. But I would say that if you want to try Pat McGrath Labs, I don't think this is the one necessarily to go for just to try Pat McGrath Labs for the first time, because they're cheaper than the other ones. I feel like $78 is still a lot of money for a palette, and these do work really well, but I don't think they're anything spectacular. I don't think they're not like blowing me away. I think they're really pretty. You can get a really good look with them, but I wouldn't say settle for this one because it's cheaper than the other ones. You know, if you're really wanting to invest in a palette from Pat McGrath, I would say just save up the extra money and just buy one of the other ones, just because I do feel like these ones are probably not as great quality as those. It's hard to say because I honestly have never tried the other ones. I guess what I mean is just like if you have been waiting for a long time to get one of these, I think it's just safer to go with the more expensive one. But if you really love this color story, like if you really you love these colors and it really calls to you and you do want the extra shades, I do think it could be worth it. I just feel like $78 and $100 and something is very expensive for palettes. Obviously this is the better deal, so it's like it really just depends on your situation. Like I said, I'm not like fully blown away by this palette, but I do like it. Like if someone was to have given me this for like Christmas or something, I would have been like so happy with it. I would have been like so excited. Really love the packaging. I think it's definitely worth it when it comes to that. I think it's a really good holiday palette, especially considering a lot of holiday palettes aren't as good quality as their original palettes anyways. So I think it's pretty much what you would expect from a holiday palette. I mean, they had to cut prices somewhere in order to get it cheaper and have so many shades. So I'm not really like surprised, and I'm not disappointed either, but I'm not blown away. So I have very mixed feelings. I hope that's helpful in any way. Like if you're leaning towards wanting to buy this, but you weren't quite sure if the quality was good or not, it is good. It will definitely work. You can definitely get a pretty look with it. But I'm not gonna over explain myself. I think that I said everything I wanted to say, and I hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, I would really appreciate if you considered subscribing to this channel if you're not already, maybe hitting the like button. That really helps me out. Even if you're not subscribed, maybe I'll show up in your recommendations later on. You can try me out again. I thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and I'm really excited about the holidays coming up. I have some fun stuff planned, And yeah, that is everything. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!